Strip 511, this is a regular rhythm. I did check it by marking the first two complexes and then sliding over and sliding over to check the regularity, there's a tiny little variability by one small square. So we actually calculate using the precise rate calculation method. We will calculate 1500 divided by 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 5, 10, 20, 35, 36, 36 and a half. So 1500 divided by 36 or 36 and a half will give you the heart rate. In terms of the PR interval, I went ahead and measured it here, and there is some variability because if you look at this P wave here, the first one it's a little bit round, the second one is a little bit pointy and maybe smaller, the third one is a little bit round again, fourth one is a little bit more pointy, fifth one is a little bit more pointy. So you might see a bit of a variability, and in truth, in the back of the book you have a range with the PR interval. Either way, just to identify where it stops and ends. Again, your baseline is a little bit thick, so that makes it more challenging. But if you can see my first marking there, so about here, and then I think this one, it may be a little bit shorter, right about there, and then so on and so forth across the strip. So when you're looking in terms of your PR interval, if I measure up the first one, I'm getting about 4. And if I line up the second marking, I'm getting about 3. So the PR interval is 3 small squares to 4 small squares. And I think that's the range they give you in the back of the book. Okay. In terms of the QRS complex, I went ahead and did that one here as well. So if you line up the beginning of your QRS complex with the end, you get something like that. Just double checking all of the others. This one looks a little bit more clearly with a little downward deflection, so that might be a touch wider. And then so far on this one, it looks a little narrow again. So that's it there. And then I just check the rest. So again, in terms of the width of my QRS complex or the duration of my QRS complex, if I line up the first one, I'm getting about 1 small square here, 1.5 small squares on the first marking. If I slide that over just a touch so that it's a little bit more clear to you guys on video. Yeah. So 1.5 small squares, and then the other outside to the far right marking will give you 2. So the duration of this QRS complex is 1.5 small squares to 2 small squares. So 0.06 to 0.08 seconds.